Welcome back to Action 2 News at 10. Black Friday might be over, but Small Business Saturday is just as big for many locally owned stores who say the impact of this nationwide campaign continues to be a success since it was launched more than a decade ago. New at 10, Jamal James spoke to shoppers and those busy ringing up the sales.
At the Appleton Bike Shop, Joe Sargent is waiting on customers as part of Small Business Saturday, as he hopes to separate the experience of what it's like in a store compared to a big box chain, especially when it comes to personal service.
When you have just a single store and it reflects heavily upon you personally, how your product comes out and how people love the product and how they use it.
Small Business Saturday was launched back in 2010 by American Express as a campaign to help local mom and pop shops kick off their holiday shopping season. According to American Express, 2/3 of every dollar that's spent within the community actually stays in the community. We're going to learn a little bit more about what these small businesses do to collaborate to make sure that they thrive. Allison Fleshman, the owner of McFleshman's Brewing Company, provided some insight.
As businesses do better, their customers get a better experience. And the fact that Appleton Beer Factory and McFleshman's, we're not competitors, we actually help each other out. People come downtown to have an entire experience, not just go to one establishment, but go from business to business to business.
At Appleton Beer Factory, Steve Waldorf highlighted what's at stake when you shop local.
In general, small businesses, you're helping out the whole community. You've got employees that are from the area and people are spending their money here and they're staying here with the money instead of going to a big corporation and that money's going who knows where.
Reporting in Appleton, Jamal James, Action 2 News.